Greetings and welcome to Nathan Nile Official. For those of you who have never seen my face in a video before, my name is Nathan Nile. This is my personal channel where I do vlogs, reviews, and anything else that happens to catch my fancy. This is a Naked Truth video, which is a series started by Trisha Hershberger. And I haven't actually been watching the new version because she goes live when I walk out of my door to go to work. And she only does it on Saturdays, which is when, I've been there 5 years and I've only ever had one Saturday off. And that's because there was a hurricane and we shut down. So, yeah, I don't watch it live. I still check it out sometimes. And I felt like this was a subject I could say a lot about. Because, for those who don't know, I wrote my own book. And is this a shameless self-promotion? Yes, but it's relevant. Because I do have my own, I wrote an autobiography. It's the soft cover is available online, printshopcentral.com, link in the description. I also have the ebook available on Amazon, link in the description. I've also got some merchandise, which is basically I just took the title, Everything's Impossible, slapped it on some hats and shirts and golf balls and shit like that. And and the link for that is in the description below as well. So, in the whole process of this whole trying to make money thing, it's been a long 2 years for me, and I barely feel like I'm getting started. Like I just put 2 years later, I finally put something up for sale, and I'm able to start making some money. So that's the one thing and piece of advice I'll give for anyone. You can't expect success overnight. There's no such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme. There's get-richer quicker, but there's no such thing as like, oh, I'm just gonna drop everything I'm doing and have overnight success with anything. So yeah, well, we'll start with my experience. First of all, I do have one employee. I had 3 at one point, but now I'm down to 1. Well, and technically it's not even an employee. Officially, he's an independent contractor. Which, learning that there's difference between, when it comes to tax purposes, there's a reason you have different things, like there's employee, there's independent contractor, there's freelancer, stuff like that. So, yeah, and actually I should probably start from the very beginning. I made the decision that I wanted to start writing books and stuff because, honestly, never thought I'd be a novelist. However, a lot of stuff like, the media stuff, I've always wanted media. Like, owning a multimedia corporation has always been my ultimate goal in life. I mean, honestly, my biggest dream, which will probably never come true, but the fantasy that I have about how my life will turn out is, I've got songs on every radio station, shows on every TV channel, on every streaming service, movies in every theater, an office in Japan cranking out anime and manga, every video games on every platform. And not to mention, I'm married to Vanessa Hudgens. We have 5 kids. 3 of them are adopted. 2 of them grow up to be professional athletes. One of them is a professional painter. She lives in a loft in New York. And I have one kid who goes on to get a record deal at age 15, and one kid that for some reason became an accountant. I don't know why, because I spent my entire life, pushing him towards creative things. But when he grew up, he decided, no, I'm going to do the most boringest job I can possibly find. It's hard to believe he shares my DNA, but I love him, and I know he loves me. It's just that I got nothing in common with the kid, and the less time we spend together, the easier it is to get along with each other. I've got too much free time on my hands, if you can't tell. But anyways, I just reached the point where I'm like, I was tired of what my life was, and I just felt like I needed to do something. Because I legitimately feel like I just wasted the first 26 years of my life just sitting on my ass. And so, I decided print was the easiest thing to do on my own. Just because, even when it comes to web series, like, I have so much respect for the YouTubers who do end up making it big, because I know for me right now, I don't have that many connections with other people, and it's difficult just to make like a 3 to 5 minute comedic sketch. I've done it before, and it's It's hard when you have to write it, direct it, lighting, sound, editing, and then you also have to put it online, manage the social media and stuff. And then I mentioned that, you know, when I'm the only actor, which is not something I'm great at, I can do it. It's not my favorite thing though. And it's just, it's hard work. It's hard work. It's a lot of work to do by yourself. And if you the minute you bring in even one other person, it just gets that much more complicated. And so that's why I decided I'll start by putting out a few novels, building my name and reputation. You know, hopefully if I get a big enough audience and I get to the point that, hey, I actually can consistently make money from this, and just keep using every profit I make to just put it into the company, keep building and building. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I've got one book out. I've got a comic book series that we're in the middle of making, and hopefully book one will be coming out here in November, just before Thanksgiving, if everything goes well. We're still working out a couple things, but yeah. And I've got some merchandise available. And that was not an easy. Like this, that autobiography was difficult to write. It was a 2-year process, but it was still easier because it's one of those things that, like, hell, the hardest part was just getting myself to actually want to do it. You know, before I got started, I actually talked to somebody who owns an LLC, my boss at work that I work for, and you know, we had discussions about, like, oh, the paperwork and stuff like that, if you wanted to actually make it like an LLC or an incorporated or anything like that. And I decided I don't need that at this moment, and not knowing and just not knowing if or when I'd ever make any kind of profit, you know, and saying that you know, with taxes it gets that much more complicated, and with paperwork and stuff, it's just because one thing he was explaining to me, that when you have a government recognized company, that even if you're not making money, you still have to report every quarter that you made no money, and then otherwise you can get fined thousands of dollars. And I'm like, I ain't down for that bullshit. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into an actual company, and then like, on top of that, I said earlier, I have an employee. Well, it's easier to say employee, but I have a contractor, a freelancer. I have an artist who works for me for the moment, does drawings for me. And I had 3 at one point, mostly, and I'm paying them really cheap. That's the one thing. I'm not paying like what they deserve. But yeah, it's something that all of us, like this book, the comic, it's being done, you know, when we can, in between, like our life already, the job, the personal life, for those who do have one. I don't, so I don't have to worry about it. But everyone else I've worked with has a significant other and shit going on, so yeah, so it's also been a slow process, because I know there's only so much I can expect them to do when I can barely give them some supplemental wage, you know. So, you know, and then there's the whole issue, like, hiring them was complicated. For one thing, I had no idea how many starving artists there are. You always hear about it, but like, when I put like on Craigslist and Indeed and stuff, put jobs posting, thinking, hey, if I just get a few people to apply, that'll be great. And I end up having like 70 people put in an application, and I'm like, holy shit. And now I gotta go through all of these, and I'm just slowly trying to get them to back off. First, I'm like, okay, first of all, you're getting no money from this. I mean, you're getting a little money, but not enough to actually pay the bills. This is more of when you're an artist that's new to this, and you're still trying to get yourself, hey, this more than anything else, you're being able to say, put your name on something, you'll put it on in your portfolio. Say, hey, I was hired to do this for this guy. So, hey, you get to say you have that experience now. And you get a few $100s every now and then. And so, I was just slowly one by one trying to get through as many of these people. And I ended up deciding, first of all, going with local artists only. That way, if they're not doing what I need them to do or whatever, that I can, go to their house, chase them down and shit, demand my money back. Which I was also just, interviewing people. Sorry. My nose is just clogged right now. I'm having trouble breathing. And so just, interviewing people was difficult. But, some of them I did online. Some of them was email correspondence. I had a couple of video chats with people. And like I said, I ended up going with local people and, meeting up, finding ways to meet up with them. And so, and then I ended up hiring 3 artists, and at first I had them all working on this one thing, but there was an issue with certain people not pulling their weight, and I was like, let's just spread out the work. Everyone does their own project, because I have multiple comics that I want to put out. I'm focusing on this specific one, but the other 2, one of them, I've actually hired her twice, and she keeps leaving, because apparently I'm just that difficult to work for. Which I can understand what she's saying, but I think more than anything else, just our styles don't mesh. Because she seems to be one of those people that can only draw something that she sees in front of her. But I go out of my way to create things because I've never seen them, and so we just had trouble getting on the same page artistically. And then the other one was just. Now, she was clearly not doing anything. I mean, there may have been some thing, but I saw no progress at all. All I kept getting were empty promises that, I'm definitely working on it, and kept seeing no actual work. And I actually tried to fire her once, but she showed up for the exit interview with her kid and a sob story, which I told myself I wouldn't fall for it, but it's now she's got a 4-year-old there talking about he needs surgery, and I'm just like, and I couldn't, and I just ended up, in the end, I couldn't go through with it, so I'm like, hey, let's move you on to a different project. And so, but then once again, months go by, and she keeps demanding her money, but I'm still getting no progress. So we ended up having to we're cutting this off. So, honestly, when I first met her, I had a bad feeling, and I didn't want to work with her. But the art that she did show me, because she brought some samples of her work, and it was impressive. And I thought, just to have this quality of work for this lower price might be worth it, the potential risk. I was wrong. I was very wrong. Look, sometimes you gotta trust your instincts. Especially when it concerns you giving someone else money that you've spent years of your life saving. So, for these past 2 years, I've got, I've been working on that. I got my autobiography. I had at one point in time 3 different people that I was paying. I'm down to just 1, which, thank God. Because that way, so when the other 2 left, it was upsetting and a little disappointing, but at the same time, it saved my bank account. It literally saved my life. And for another 1.5 years after that, it was just because for a short period there, I was spending about twice as much money as I make, and now it's spending about 1.5 years just breaking even. And then, and so now I got it out there, which not what, and so now my autobiography, everything is now my autobiography, everything is possible, available on printshopcentral.com and Amazon, is out there in the world. And for other people, you don't have to do this. I actually ended up using a service, Eli Blyden. He helped me. He helped me with formatting the book into like print ready format, and helped me with the cover design and stuff like that, get it on ebook format and helping me put it out there. It was all so very brand new. So there are a couple of pieces of advice I'll tell anyone who's starting a company. First of all, try your best to do research as much as possible. You want to be ready for what you're gonna jump into. It's the more you know, the safer you'll be, the better off it'll be. But also, it's got to be something that you really believe in enough to stick with, because the longer you go, the harder it's gonna get. It's a struggle, and there are gonna be times when it's gonna be hard to believe in yourself. So it's got to be something that you're really passionate about, that you really do care about if you're gonna take it seriously, and also understanding that it's not gonna happen overnight. Like I said, it's gonna take a long time. It's gonna be frustrating. So it's got to be something that you believe in and you're willing to put the long-term work into, and that's coming from someone who hasn't actually accomplished anything yet. But yeah, I kind of believe in this future that I see for myself, which, the actual future that I see is not quite what the fantasy world. I have the dream, and then I have the goal. Two different things. Because, I do have a fantasy I would love to achieve someday, but for the time being, we're settling on some realistic goals, first of which was just being able to say I actually made something, and being able to put that something out into the world. And one thing I say in the book, I know one day I'll make my dreams a reality, not because I want to, because I need to. No matter how many times I fail, I can't stop wanting this. And that's my main advice. Passion and determination will help get you through a lot of hard times. Also, I'm just not feeling that great today. I usually use natural lighting, but it's raining, and it's supposed to be raining for like the next 2 straight days. Also, I've been sleeping face down on the floor for the past 2 weeks. I don't know why. I just can't feel comfortable anywhere else anymore. And I end up staying awake till like 5 a.m. So now it reached the point that like, okay, has it been more than 30 minutes and I'm still awake? Okay, floor time. Also, I left my drink over there. So I'm naked. I can't get up and get it. I realized that after I was like 5 minutes into filming it, and I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm thirsty. My drink's in the other room. So yeah, anyways, that's my very brief and still very new experience on, starting a business. And it's not an actual company, but I am trying to get something started. I've got my autobiography already available. Feel free to purchase it. I've got some merchandise available. Feel free to purchase it. And I've got more books and more merchandise that will become available before the end of the year. Feel free to go purchase those. And my comic book series, I've got books 1 and 2 done. So those hopefully being released in November and December. Book 3 sometime hopefully in spring next year. After that, who knows? We'll see. Because right now this series has 13 books, and I'd like to put all of them out there for you. We'll see. Because if I'm not making any money, if I keep bleeding money, I'll have to at some point in time cut my losses and just save my bank account. But for now, the plan is 13 books, and I want to see them all get made. And then if that goes well, season 1 has like 60 books. Yes. The comic book story is something that I literally created this character 20 fucking years ago when I was like 7. You know, I've been working on it seriously since I was a teenager in high school. So I've had like 12 years of effort going into this guy. I have him ready. It's just a matter of, yeah, if I could draw at all, I don't know what it is. Some people just have certain talents, others don't. If I could sing, then I would have dropped out of school when I was 12 and just recorded my own CDs, sold them on the street. But I'm the kind of guy that people pay me to stop singing. So, in life you got to learn to deal with the cards you're dealt. And I'm going on too many tangents. Anyways, thing is, if you feel like supporting me in my new venture, links in the description down below. Spend yourself some money. And, thank you for watching this video. And, till the next time you see my face, my name is Nathan Lyle. This has been The Naked Truth on Nathan Lyle Official. I hope you have a great day.